left field today. Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Game's not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Hey, it does not suck to be me. I'm outside. I wanted to come outside and be outside today, and found me a nice little park to sit in to kind of do the show real quick and then get on out the way. Got things to do. So, Keith Hennick, what it do, baby? Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What is happening right now? Is BM the dude? Is he the dude? I don't know. So listen, let's get to it. Let's get to the Week 15 wrap. We'll start with last night's game, man. Before I say anything, let me get this out real quick. David Carr was not right. David Carr was not right about Jalen Hurts. I don't care if they lose all their games for the rest of the season. David Carr was not correct about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was so sick that he had to fly in separately from the team so that they didn't catch what he had. And head coach Nick Sirianni said even at game time, he was far from 100%, and he played like it. And he played like through 2 interceptions, no touchdowns in the loss. But I'm going to just tell you right now, man, if you start quoting David Carr to me as if he is some kind of real aficionado of quarter, I'm going to chop you dead in your throat. I'm just telling you right now, I choose violence when it comes to David Carr. I'm chopping you dead in your throat. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and work my block and delete game. If David Carr is your source of reference and you feel like he was right that Jalen Hurts can't read defense and, they need Marcus Mariota and he gives them a better chance to win from a dude that is statistically one of the worst quarterbacks to ever play the game, I can't be in a serious conversation with you about nothing. I can't be in a serious conversation with you about anything related to sports. So let me just tell you right now, if that's your shtick, I'm leaving you alone. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm waving the white flag. You win. All right. Eagles lost to Seattle last night, 20-17. Seattle kept their playoff hopes alive. The Eagles dropped from number 2 in the standings in the NFC all the way down to number 5. Cowboys, even after they got dog walked by Buffalo, jumped back up to number 2 because of their record and because of the fact that they lead the NFC East. So again, Eagles lost 20-17. Kudos to Seattle. Kudos to Seattle for keeping their playoff hopes alive. Drew Lock, I'm not a fan. He's a Mizzou grad and, or a Mizzou former player. I don't know if he graduated or not. But all you Mizzou fans out there, I know y'all were happy to see him throw a late touchdown and get the win. So congratulations to them. Eagles got to figure some things out, though. Jalen Hurts aside, they got shut out in the fourth quarter in a game that they had to have, and the defense gave up 10 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. That's got to get fixed. That's not on Jalen. That's not on Jalen. That's on the defense. Sirianni's got to get on that side of the ball and get some answers. So, again, congratulations, Seattle. They're still in the playoff hunt. We'll talk about the playoffs in just a little bit. Panthers got to win over the Falcons, dashed their playoff hopes. And, in fact, the Panthers might have got the head coach, Arthur Smith, of the Falcons fired. They might have done that with a 9-7 win. Same thing. 6 unanswered points in the fourth quarter for the Panthers in a win over the Falcons in a game that they needed to keep their division and playoff hopes alive. If they don't win the division, they're not going to the playoffs. All right, let's keep it rolling. The Browns keep finding a way. Keep on making, finding a way to win. I know I can't sing, but I just had to get that in. The Cleveland Browns are 9-5, and they have done that multiple weeks without their starting quarterback. And before you give all the credit to Joe Flacco, remember, they got some dubs before Flacco was even an option. So let's go ahead and give it up to the Browns, 20-17 over the Bears. Man, tough, missed, dropped Hail Mary. I mean, I felt so bad for the young man on the drop Hail Mary, but I got to give it up to Joe Flacco, threw for 374, 2 touchdowns in the win. And they are 9-5. And if it were not for the hottest team in the NFL, not named the San Francisco 49ers, talking about the Baltimore Ravens, then the Browns would be knocking on that door for the division title. So anyway, congratulations to them. They come to Houston this coming Sunday, where they'll take on the Texans. The Texans slapped the Tennessee Titans all up in their Houston Oilers throwback jerseys, beat them 19-16 in overtime after coming back from 13-0. They were down 13 and came back and got the win. Congratulations to the Texans. They outscored the Titans 16-3 in the second half. So congratulations to them in that big win. Big win for them. Got to give love to Case Keenum, Houston's own Cougar, former U of H Cougar, got to start in place of C.J. Stroud and in place of Davis Mills, because I said Davis Mills is a loss. Case Keenum, they got a shot, and of course, if C.J. had come back, it would have been a straight-out win. But the biggest thing that the Texans did was 7 sacks, and they held Derrick Henry to literally nothing on the ground. I mean, nothing on the ground, and that is doing something. Derrick Henry had 16 carries for 9 yards. 16 carries for 9 yards. That defense came to play, and that was the difference in the game. CJ did just enough to help them get the win. So now, the Texans are still in the playoff hunt. Again, I'll talk about the playoffs in just a minute. All right, the Chiefs got it going again. They beat the lowly Patriots 27-17. Again, everybody counted them out, left them for dead. They're still winning, so there you go. New Orleans, same thing. I counted them out. I left them for dead. I was ready to fire their head coach. They got a win over the Giants 24-16. And, man, old DeVito wasn't doing in fact, the defense was doing because they had a bunch of sacks on him as well. So, again, congratulations to the Saints. Miami Dolphins kept rolling. They blanked the Jets. So the Jets thought they had momentum, thought they were about to do some things, thought your man, Jets quarterback, well, Trevor Siemian actually got to play, but Zach Wilson, man, ooh, I feel bad for him now. It's just not even funny anymore. I don't even want to make jokes about Zach Wilson anymore. It's just tough. Might need a change of scenery. 30-0 Dolphins over the Jets without Tyreek Hill. Buccaneers, as I told you, big win over the Packers, who were kind of trending, 34-20. The Buccaneers now in first place in that ugly NFC South division. So we'll see what happens there. 49ers kept rolling, outscored the Cardinals 45-29. For all of y'all that think Kyler Murray can't play, the Cardinals are a much better team when Kyler Murray is in there, but they're just not a good team, if you get my point. 49ers kept rolling. All right, Rams over the Commanders 28-20, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Cowboy fans, what the heck happened? Where's DeMarcus Lawrence? Has anybody checked on him? Has anybody checked on? And we hit him again. And we hit him again. They got back up. We hit him again. We hit him. No, it was the other way around this time. You got dog walked. The Bills put their collar on you, clicked that leash on, and said, heel, and walked y'all to a 31-10 beatdown. Dak Prescott only threw for $134 in the loss. And the Cowboys just have no explanation. I told y'all there'd be games like this when you got there, Mike McCarthy calling the offense. I'm telling you, they saw this in Green Bay. The dude is not legit when it comes to, I know they lead the NFL in scoring at home and they've done all these great things, but let me tell you, when they lose, they lose. It was up and down in Green Bay, and that's why they got rid of his butt. They did not fire him because he was way too good. All right, the Ravens kept it going. Lamar Jackson, man, if, again, y'all want to talk about him, the plays that he made in that game, not everybody can make. You're about to get sacked. You spin out of that. You find a receiver downfield. You throw it to a point where only he can get it, and he comes down with it. 23-17. The Ravens win over Jacksonville, who needed that win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They have the exact same record as the Texans and the Colts. So that division is wide open. Again, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the number one team in the AFC right now. All right, how about them Bengals? How about those Bengals? The Bengals dropped 21 points in the fourth quarter to tie the game and send it to overtime. And then in overtime, they got the win. Jake Browning, I cannot call you by any kind of nickname because you are balling, young man, at quarterback. 324 on the passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, the win. Cincinnati still hanging in the playoff race. In fact, if the playoffs ended today, Bengals in, Steelers out. So there you go. Steelers lost an ugly one to the Colts. Mitchell Trubisky is not it. I mean, can we go ahead and get that in, that Mitchell Trubisky is not the man? Said that with him, similar to Zach Wilson when he came out of college. I said the exact same thing about Mitchell Trubisky when he came out, a couple of years before that. Not the dude. Too few games in college to give him any kind of hope of being what they thought he would be in the NFL. As a GM, I would not have picked him, and he is showing that in Pittsburgh. I hate to say it, and I mean it when I hate to say this. You got to start Mason the Redneck Rudolph. You got to start Mason the Redneck Rudolph and go from there. You got to do it. Mike Tomlin, listen to me. All right, the Lions got back in the win column big over the Broncos, 42-17. Some more sideline shenanigans from Sean Payton. And then, of course, after the game, I was upset about the play. And, you yelling at your future Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't like it. I don't like it. But, again, here we are. Raiders got the win over the Chargers, of course, on Thursday night, 63-21. As expected, the head coach of the Chargers no longer employed. General manager also no longer employed. We will see where they go from there. Eric Bieniemy is another good name for that job with a young quarterback that just needs some real good coaching and has not had it to date. All right, so that's the wrap of Week 15. Let me take a break. When I come back, we'll talk about the playoffs. Oh, man, I owe you a phone call. I got some information for you. Yes, you beat the Eagles. Y'all are the number 2 team in the NFC. We got you. Keith Hennig. Zach will be playing in Canada next year. Now, he'll be playing for a USFL team. All right, let's see. Cowboys simply can't beat a good team. They haven't done it. They haven't shown us that they can. He said that they beat the Cowboys. I got that. Keith Hennig said, I'd like to see Mike Tomlin in Tampa next year. I doubt Tampa is going to replace Todd Bowles with Mike Tomlin. I doubt that's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see how this all works out. All right, let me take a break. When we come back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. We outside, y'all. All right, streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV.
This is a BS3 network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
from a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
My name is James Jr., and I won $500 on the lunch break for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
All right, y'all. We outside here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It's not too bad out here today, man. The sun is shining. There's plenty of life. A new day is dawning, sunny and bright. If you know the lyrics to that song, you all right with me. If you don't know the lyrics to that song, get you some Luther in your life. Get you some Luther, and I'm talking about big Luther in your life, all right? All right, listen, it's Talk Your Team Tuesday. Keith Hennig talking his team. He wants to see Mike Tomlin in Tampa next year. All Mad talking his team, the Cowboys. How about them boys? Got dog walked by Buffalo, but they do have a win over the Eagles, which makes them right now they're leading the division. So let's talk about the playoff standings right now. I'm going to talk about the AFC first. Number 1 seed, of course, is the Baltimore Ravens at 11-3. Number 2 seed, the Miami Dolphins at 10-4. Number 3, Kansas City at 9-5. Jacksonville is number 4 by virtue of leading the AFC South tiebreakers over both Colts and the Texans. All right, so now let's look at the wild cards. You got Cleveland is the number 5 seed right now at 9-5. Cincinnati is 8-6. Indianapolis is 8-6, and the Texans are 8-6. But Cincinnati has the tiebreaker over the over the Texans, because the Texans lost to the Colts and the Bengals beat the Colts. Even though the Texans beat Cincinnati head-to-head, the Bengals have the tiebreaker because they beat a team that beat the Texans, and some kind of way that gives them the tiebreaker. But watch this. Cincinnati's got to go to Pittsburgh next. And that game is always, that game is never easy. So we'll see how we go down the stretch. So again, right now, the first wildcard team is Cleveland. Second wildcard team, Cincinnati. Third wildcard team is Indianapolis. Just on the outside looking in at 8-6, you got the Texans ahead of the Bills at number 9. Pittsburgh still has a chance at 7-7. Denver still has a chance at 7-7. So we'll see. We'll see how all of this plays out. again, Cleveland comes to Houston without Deshaun Watson. We'll see if that defense can get after Joe Flacco like they did Will Levis. And then Cincinnati's got to go to Pittsburgh. And I'm telling you, Pittsburgh will have a chance if they start Mason the Redneck Rudolph. Indianapolis has got to go to Atlanta. I think Indianapolis will probably win that game, so we'll see what happens. The Bills at 8-6, just outside the playoffs, got to go to the Chargers. Pittsburgh, of course, will host Cincinnati, so that's what you got coming up. All right, let's go to the NFC side. Real quick. Playoff picture. Right now, San Francisco, number one, already clinched their division. They're in the playoffs. All right. Number 2 seed is the Dallas Cowboys. They've already clinched the playoff spot at 10-4. Detroit is at number 3. They're 10-4, leading their division. Tampa Bay is 7-7. They lead their division. Now, wild card teams. First wild card team, you got Philadelphia at 10-4. They've already clinched the playoff spot as well. Minnesota is the number 6 seed. They're 7-7. And then the Rams hold the number 7 seed, just ahead of Seattle at 7-7, New Orleans at 7-7, Atlanta and Green Bay are 6-8. So they still have a chance as well. We'll see how all that plays out. If the playoffs started today, Baltimore would have the bye in round 1. Indianapolis would go to Miami. Cincinnati would go to Kansas City. And Cleveland would go to Jacksonville, where they have a very good chance to win. Very good chance. Cincinnati and Kansas City come playoff time, throw the records out. Those two don't like each other. They get after each other. It's going to be a good game. But if it started today, Cincinnati would go to Kansas City. On the NFC side, the San Francisco 49ers would have the bye. Then you would have the Rams going to Dallas. That ain't an easy one. Minnesota would go to Detroit. That's not an easy one. And Philadelphia would go to Tampa Bay. Philadelphia would go in there and dog walk Baker Mayfield and that squad. So, again, that's if it were to start today, and it doesn't. So, there you go. That's the playoff picture as of right now. All right, so Keith Hennig says, Bengals win that one. You got the Bengals beating the Steelers. You don't know that history, bro. Ask any Steeler fans. In fact, let me shout out to Sloan Diggity. Hey, Sloan, how you doing? Sloan, man, she be checking me. She said, I don't think your information is correct. And Sloan had me do my homework, and then I figured out how Cincinnati has a tiebreaker over the Texans, even though the Texans beat Cincinnati. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a good game, but that history between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, ask any Bengals fan, it is not a good one. Allman said Texans will beat the Brown. Al High, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? When you going to send me some Jack Stack rib tips? Come on, man. I don't even eat meat, but I'll eat that. So come on, man. Talk to your brother, man. Put it on that drone and fly it down to me because we outside down here in Houston. All right, let me take a break, man. I'm going to come back and wrap this thing up right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It is Talk Your Team Tuesday.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street y'all done had problems, maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
My name is James Jr., and I won $500 on the lunch break of the Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It is definitely a good Talk Your Team Tuesday. Now, I got to give some love to the state playoffs here in Houston, the teams that won, the teams from Houston that didn't win. I got to go ahead and give them some love. First of all, let me shout out to DeSoto High School. DeSoto High School, just outside of Dallas. If you don't know about them, baby, you better check them out. DeSoto High School, I feel like my man, who a bug flew in his mouth, and he said, "What the?" If you have not seen that video clip, check that out. A reporter with bug in his mouth. You'll laugh. But anyway, something almost got me. All right. So anyway, DeSoto High School won the 6A D2 championship over a school called Summer Creek, 74-14. DeSoto's offensive line is like I'm gonna skip over Power 5 D1. I'm going straight to NFL. They average over 300 pounds. They got an offensive lineman that's 6'7", 380 pounds. And he just manhandled other players that are going to D1 football. And they have a quarterback that is out of this world. 74-14 over Summer Creek. They are the number one team in the state. The number two team in the state is a team that got beat by DeSoto. They knocked off the North Shore Mustangs 49-33 in the 6A D1 championship game. And again, I got to give Duncanville a lot of credit. Duncanville and North Shore have met for the title in multiple seasons in a row. Duncanville got beat by North Shore a couple of seasons ago on a Hail Mary that I think they won an ESPY award for it and all that kind of stuff. But Duncanville has stayed solid. Brother head coach, and they got the win 49-33. And then we've got a team called Aledo. Aledo had a backup running back who went off and said he had to set the tone for everybody who thought there might have been a drop-off at running back. So just to kind of give you some state high school rankings, DeSoto, number 1, 16-0. Duncanville, number 2, 15-1. Aledo, number 3, 16-0. North Shore, even though they lost, they're number 4, 15-1. Gilmer is number 5. And then I want to give some love to a country team called Belleville, Brahmas, and to Summer Creek. All of them showed well. So again, I always talk about the pros. I talk about the college folks. Let me give some high school love to these young men, their parents, their families, because they got it in this past weekend. State titles passed out. All right, let me get ready to wrap this thing up. As always, let's not be united. Let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it, except tune in tomorrow for Winning Wednesday when I can tell you who won $50 cash in the Lunch Break Weekly, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. We're coming down to the wire. Only a number of about 6 people are going to compete for $500 cash. Is it going to be you? We'll find out when we announce that tomorrow. Y'all be sure and meet me right here at noon. At noon. Al High, DeSoto is the real deal, bruh. I know they got all these California teams and Vegas teams and Miami teams. DeSoto can ball with any of them. DeSoto can ball with any of them. Congratulations to their head coach on putting together a championship squad. this season and knocking off their arch cross-city rival, Duncanville. All right, y'all, I'm out. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow on the lunch break. Hey, y'all be sure and don't meet me here. Beat me here. All right.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. Number 1, as the southern border crisis intensifies daily, 3 U.S. senators were at work in Washington, D.C. over the weekend to work out an immigration plan. The plan, undertaken by Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, Republican Senator James Lankford, and Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema, is to come up with immigration reform that would get Republican support in the House and Senate, along with support for the billions of dollars in military aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. The senators reported some progress over the weekend, but no framework and certainly no deal as of Monday. In the meantime, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, signed into law Monday, giving police the authority to arrest migrants who cross the border illegally. Number 2, elected in February of 2021, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is taking heat with evidence of lavish spending and financial mismanagement of taxpayer dollars piling up. The floodgates opened when a former executive assistant leaking credit card statements in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for lavish trips to Las Vegas, tens of thousands of dollars on meals, thousands in flights, and so on. Residents tried to recall her in 2021, but she took the vote to court and won, claiming it was unconstitutional and has since been trying to balance Dalton's checkbook by raising taxes and parking ticket fees. Number 3, finding the time to exercise can be challenging, especially during the holidays. The What You Need to Know newsletter, along with our partners at Black Health Matters, have come up with a few tips to keep you focused through the holidays. One of the tips: keep it simple and avoid setting unrealistic goals or stressing about scheduling a workout. Number 4, after 8 police officers of the Akron, Ohio Police Department were cleared of all criminal charges for the fatal shooting of Jalen Walker, an internal investigation has now cleared that same group of administrative accountabilities. The internal investigation came after a grand jury declined to indict the officers in April on state charges. The 8 officers are back to work on the force, but the Akron Police Department and the city of Akron still face a $45 million lawsuit filed by the Walker family accusing the officers of excessive force. Number 5, tax loss harvesting is a smart way to manage your investments and taxes. It involves selling investments at a loss to offset gains, reducing your overall tax burden. However, there's a rule called the wash sale rule that prevents you from claiming a loss if you buy similar securities within 61 days of selling at a loss. Our celebrity CPA to the stars, Katrina M. Kraft, breaks it all down in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Wallowing in self-pity is a stagnant pool of unfulfilled potential, whereas self-accountability is the bridge leading to personal growth and achievement. All right. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian extraordinaire Damon Williams, political contributor Cameron Riley, and producer extraordinaire Ahmed Gordon as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
My name is JM&E, and I won $500 at the lunch break from the Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.